Hi, it's that old guy with a whiteboard, and I'm going to talk about one of my favourite subjects, SMART. More specifically, how to go about agreeing SMART developmental objectives with someone else. The process is simple. First, start with the problem or outcome that really matters. You do this by asking two questions. What's the change that we want to see? And how will we know that things are better? This prevents objective setting from becoming a tick box exercise and keeps it grounded in real work. Second, remember that most people don't like being told what they need to do. They prefer to be involved in setting their own objectives. Team members will buy into their objectives much more if they co-create them. Have a conversation with the team member and use coaching questions like, what would a successful outcome look like for you? What support do you need? What might get in the way? This will build ownership of the objective and reduce resistance. Now you can turn the outcome into a SMART objective together. Use the acronym to guide your conversation and to act as a quality check. Clarify exactly what needs to happen. This should be specific, so avoid using vague verbs like improve or enhance. Instead, use observable verbs like produce, deliver, complete, or implement. Agree a clear deadline for when the objective will be done. Again, this should be a specific timescale or a date, not something vague like ongoing or meaningless like as soon as possible. Developmental objectives tend to be longer term, so it's also good practice to set some milestones or review dates. That links nicely with how progress will be measured and success evidenced. You can consider things like outputs produced, a report, training completed, project milestones achieved, behaviours exhibited, such as those observed in meetings or based on feedback received. Or it could be numbers, KPIs, error rates, that sort of thing. I like to make these feel more achievable by expressing my measures as a minimum quantity. For example, you should be able to share at least one example during our next review. It's also important that the person understands why they are agreeing to this developmental objective. The relevance may be about preparing them for progression, addressing skills gaps in the team, or addressing an emerging business priority. Making this part of the conversation improves motivation. Finish by testing the realism of achieving the objective. Ask something like, what support or resources will you need to get this done? Once agreed, write a short, clear statement. When you write it down, use plain language and don't let the acronym get in the way. For example, over the next 9 months, demonstrate readiness for the next role by taking a more visible leadership role in day-to-day work. This will include leading at least one agreed project and supporting the development of at least one colleague through regular coaching conversations. You should be able to share clear examples of both during our next 2 quarterly appraisals. Overall progress and impact will be reviewed at the end of year review in November. This removes ambiguity and creates confidence on both sides. Finish by reviewing the agreed objective and confirming expectations and support. When you are reviewing and confirming, good questions to ask are, what will good look like here for you? What help do you need from me? And how often should we check in? Don't wait until the formal meetings to review progress and offer support. A quick 10-minute check-in every few weeks will be far better than one big meeting every 3 months. Use the time to track progress, remove blockers, or adjust expectations if things change. You should also give recognition early, not at the end, to build momentum. Agreeing SMART developmental objectives is about having a proper conversation, one that's focused on real outcomes, clear expectations, and a shared understanding. When people know what they're working towards, why it matters, and how success will be recognised, development stops feeling vague or risky and starts to feel achievable and motivating. If you get the conversation right at the start, the objective does most of the work for you, guiding behaviour, supporting progress, and making review discussions more meaningful. That's how SMART should be used, not as a form to fill in, but as a way to help people grow with confidence and with purpose. If you want to take SMART to the next level, check out our YouTube course, Making SMART Work. It explores why SMART objectives often fail, uses practical examples to show how to make them work in real situations, and introduces another well-known technique for pressure testing and strengthening your SMART goals and objectives.